What is up, guys? My name is Mark Santamaria. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to RC Vlog. We're here at Indy RC World in Garland, Texas, and I'm doing some clubbing, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today we are going to do the side-by-side comparison of these two vehicles right here. These are two vehicles that have a lot of debate online on which one's better.
There's some strong following.
There's some strong following, but this is the Arrma. Go ahead.
The Arrma Notorious.
The Arrma Notorious. So I think they have three of them, and they're
a couple different versions. Yeah, I mean this is the full-on monster truck, freestyle, do a bunch of cool stuff with it, 1/8 scale, truggy base. I mean us in the racer world, you know, are going to recognize this as kind of a truggy size.
It's got a sick body on it.
It is pretty neat.
And then the big comparison, the car that everyone compares it to is this car, the Traxxas Revo 2.0. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a Traxxas fan, so naturally I am compelled to say this one is better. But
with all the upgrades they've done, though,
Mr. Peter Husser,
it's certainly a close race. We'll kind of break it down for you a little bit. See if
all
we
right,
can't
so
come to a better conclusion.
Let's get to comparing these. All right, so we're gonna go with first impressions. I haven't driven these. Maybe Pete has. I know what a monster truck drives like. The best monster truck on the market right now is a Techno monster truck, obviously. Right, Pete?
I'm not gonna argue with you, man. MT410 all day.
That's right. So we're gonna do first impressions first. The first thing I can notice whenever I look at these cars is the Revo wheelbase is longer. It's got a longer wheelbase. This is kind of a shorter wheelbase. Oh, and there's the other thing you notice first is, or not the other thing you notice first, but the other thing you notice. Look at this. Look at that comparison. It's much longer.
It is a bit longer.
Significantly longer wheelbase. The other thing I notice is we got a metal chassis, and we don't have a metal chassis on the Revo. So I'm a fan of a metal chassis. As much as I like Traxxas, I like metal chassis because that's what the A-scale cars have. So I know A-scale cars are durable, so I'm pretty sure this beast right here is durable, and it looks like it's built like an A-scale. So let's take the bodies off, man.
Pretty much. That's where you're going to notice one of the other major differences. Of course, Traxxas has their, I would believe, probably patented, their smart lock.
Oh yeah, the smart lock body thing.
Right, and that utilizes the front and rear towers, if you will. The Revo uses a cantilever suspension, so these aren't really towers. I know people tear us up on YouTube about that, but they have actual mounts that line up with the points on the body, and you basically have a skeleton on the inside of that as well. So, I mean, for bashing and crashing, you're adding some rigidity cool there.
And so these little plastic parts on top actually serve a purpose. That's for the self-riding, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when this car flips over,
they help you out.
You can actually push a button and it will self-ride. It will use the tires' centrifugal force to force the car to flip back upside down. But look at this ESC, my goodness.
That's a big boy.
A massive beast.
That is the Traxxas VXL 6S.
You know what? Okay, so I don't like how I feel like they downgraded the shocks a little bit. Remember they had the anodized shocks?
Yeah.
I feel like they went a little cheaper on the shocks on this one.
I think that gives you an option. I know that Traxxas has the GTR shocks that maybe have a bit higher volume. I think they look smaller compared to them. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think they're so the older Revo used to come with these aluminum looking shocks, and then the newer ones came with the anodized ones. I don't think you're risking any like durability. I just like the way the anodized ones look.
Nice.
Let's take the body off on this thing.
So with the Arrma Notorious, you're gonna see it does use the standardized body clips, but to keep them from getting lost, it does use the keepers. So that's definitely something. Cool, yeah. So far, we haven't had to replace any body clips, and as you can tell from the bottom of the chassis, it has seen quite a bit of use. As we look at the cockpit area, if you will, of the Arrma, I mean, you see
it's like an A scale.
It's like an A-scale. I mean, it's almost, you know,
like a shorter A-scale truggy.
Eliminate the protectors there, and you're essentially looking at a 1/8 scale. Well,
that looks like a Hobby Wing based ESC right there.
It does. We know they do make some really good products. It almost looks like the Techno. When you say Mark, I mean, this is the shorter
it really does.
chassis with the truggy clips on it.
Right.
So we know how well that works for doing flips front and back. And
yeah, so the shorter wheelbase will be a lot better for flips.
For doing freestyle stuff, I gotta say it's going to be hard to beat the little bit shorter wheelbase.
I'm a big fan of XT90 connectors. This is what I use on my e-buggy. Obviously Traxxas has their Traxxas.
Yeah, they've got Traxxas plugs, and although the outer area has changed over the years, it is still the slide pins one larger than the other, so you can't plug it in backwards.
Right.
Either way.
And actually, I use these connectors a lot for my kids because I know that they can't mess it up when they're balancing their car.
Absolutely.
I think it's a safer connector for sure. But in regards to current, I think these might.
Now, I mean, we talk about safety.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, this is so if you want to use, 2 3S batteries, because although both vehicles are 6S capable, we've opted to run 4S on this guy, and it's
4S is what I run on mine.
It's been everything we needed to, and with the Revo, you can do the same. So I mean, as far as how they all hook up, they're still pretty much neck and neck, I think.
So let me ask the question that everyone's probably wondering: durability. You work at the hobby shop. I'm sure you've seen both of these come in. Which ones do you see come in more? Do you see more Revos or do you see more Arrmas come in?
Honestly, they're both extremely stout. We see on the track a lot of guys with the Arrmas. We see on the track a lot of guys with the Revos, and not one really breaks sooner than the other. Do they break? Yeah, absolutely. When you're hitting it hard, they definitely take some abuse. And when they do break, it's usually warranted. I mean, you slam one of these things into a pole at 50 miles an hour.
You're going durability is the same between both of them?
For the most part, it seems that way.
I feel like there's a little hesitation there, bud. So I will say I've thought about getting. I already have the Revo. I thought about getting one of these Arrmas just to try it out, and what I've heard is the Arrma might be a little bit more durable. But I'm a Traxxas fan, so I mean, obviously my vote is Revo all day. So
yeah, it's they use two totally different styles of suspension. The Arrma is going with the standardized sort of what we use on actual race vehicles. With a more vertical shock, shock towers front and back, different mounting points down in the arms, whereas Traxxas has a full sort of inboard suspension system, cantilever shocks that do have different options for.
These are much beefier than the older ones, aren't they?
They are. In addition to that,
those drive shafts are much beefier. So the old drive shafts used to be plastic. These are not plastic.
Yeah, and that's something that has definitely given this thing an upgrade. I mean, that going to a full metal drivetrain there is pretty awesome. I don't remember, so I'll take a look. If the centers are,
you should be able to see the center. Oh no, they look still like they're that big beefy plastic.
Yeah, so that is still their heavy duty composite center drive shafts that are in there.
All right, so the other question is service and maintenance. So how much does it cost to maintain these two cars? And then we'll go in obviously to the cost, but this guy will be the guy to tell you he maintains these cars and he maintains all the customer cars. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I know a lot of people getting into the hobby don't quite understand how important maintenance is to a vehicle, right? You've got a number of different things in here that operate on oil, and after some time, that oil breaks down just like in your regular car, and it needs to be replaced. That's where I have to say there's a clear winner, guys.
A clear winner? Yeah. Which one is it, dude?
So,
don't leave us in anticipation.
Being that this is based off of a 1/8 scale racing platform, they have integrated some of the very easy to service aspects of the vehicle. If you guys have been in RC for a while, you guys might remember Durango, and you remember all the different stuff with Hobbyco and all that. These dips are extremely easy to maintain. It's a simple 4-screw setup there. So simply by removing the 4 diff housing screws.
Oh yeah, and you can see this diff screw is angled, so that means that it does go down, down. which, yeah, that would make it a lot easier.
You know, you pop those 4 off, and then you can do the next step a couple of ways. You know, you've got sway bars just like the Traxxas, but you know, you pop those out and the case pops off. It's the same thing with the front.
Hold on,
so,
you mentioned something. This does not have sway bars.
Are they not running sway bars? Well, I know
this car has sway bars. The Revo does not have sway bars.
there is an option to run sway bars on the Revo.
Run like
though.
this. There is an option.
There is an option to run sway bars on the Revo, whereas this comes standard. But as far as service and maintenance goes, I mean, basing it off of a racing platform, although at one point in time Revos were, you know, were a racing vehicle, you know, the service that is required to maintain the vehicle.
Hey, I've changed diffs out on one of those.
Yeah.
I'll just say I've changed diffs out on one of those.
Yeah, it's a
not
few more
easy.
screws. It's a few more screws, but yeah, I mean, maintaining the vehicles, hands down, I think the Arrma Notorious is easier to maintain.
There you go. You hear it. This one's cheaper to maintain. All right, so let's talk about price. What are they? What do they cost?
Well, you know, there is one other thing that I think a lot of bashers are going to notice and give credit to. Traxxas on this Revo obviously using a dual steering servo system.
Those are plastic gear though. Are these? Is this one metal gear?
It is metal gear.
Oh, so this one's metal gear.
However, I can tell you that with the larger tires, the added stress of operation on this, one of the things you'll want to be upgrading on this Arrma after you put some time on it, it'll probably be that steering servo.
So let's hear it, dude. Price.
So, as far as price goes, Arrma Notorious is the winner by about $50.
$50.
These things coming in at $499. Will require battery and charger. These things are coming in at $549.
Which is a big step up, by the way, because the old one used to be like $799.
Yeah, it was $699. I mean, the price has come down on these by, I believe, about $150.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, they were right now $699.
Yeah, they were expensive.
So definitely they've come down to a much better price point. Insiders will probably know where their electronics are produced.
Electronics?
Electronics
Dude,
are produced.
You need more YouTube time.
More YouTube time?
I guess I make mistakes like that too.
It's okay. You come and hang out with us. Well, you come
electronics,
out
huh?
But yeah, the insiders will know who these electronics are produced by. Very reliable company, and definitely a name in the market. And you know, we haven't had a single problem with them. And then over on this side, once again, I mean, insiders are probably going to have an idea where they're produced, and they're also.
I think I named it already. All right, so you have $600. You're using your money.
Yep.
Which one do you buy?
I put a lot of emphasis on service, and so I'm going to have to go with the Arrma Notorious.
Dang, it's like that. I'm a Traxxas fanboy. I'm going to go Traxxas all day. That's just because, I don't know, I like Traxxas. It's kind of lame.
I spend a lot of time driving both, though, and my smile is just as big, so I can definitely say that.
Well, there you have it, guys. That's a side-by-side comparison of these two monster trucks. These are probably two hottest monster trucks on the market right now in regards to RTRs. Like I said, the hottest monster truck of all time is the Techno MT monster truck. So
I might be partial to this body too, Mark. I think it's pretty sick.
That body is pretty sick. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you did, subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and turn on the notification bell, and you guys will see me next time. Later, guys.